The blog segment. The blog. The blog.
I gotta do the.
Case files. Number 717. Attorney Stephen Leahy finds gum on the floor. Hold on, just coming in, breaking the... Attorney Stephen Leahy has toilet paper on the bottom of his shoe and does not know. Was that from? That's from what movie is that?
Naked
Dead
Gun?
Men Don't Wear Plaid.
Oh, that one too. That Naked Gun.
Remember, the only way they could find me is if I have toilet paper on the bottom of my shoe. Darn it!
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, so this week, because again, we've had wire points on the show.
Yes.
On the Trust Radio Network even too, and going through wire points, they were. I don't know if you've seen this lately. They have a few articles about how 2/3 of Chicago households are having serious financial problems. Well, I know you help people with that, and you recently were talking about the 4 steps to full financial recovery. Can we kind of go over that? Because this is going to be an issue that's going to be coming up fairly quickly.
Well, I agree. And another story that they had on the wire points is the PPP loans kept many small businesses afloat this summer. Without more funds, experts say a wave of bankruptcies is coming. And it's true. This is what's happening, right? So it's not only businesses, but mostly small businesses. They stayed afloat because they had some money from the government. And now we just know that it didn't pass last week. There isn't any more money coming in from the government. And so what are small businesses to do? And so now is the time when you have to start planning. Don't wait. And it's kind of like what we talked about. It's like always, plan. You have to plan. It's easy to close your eyes when things start going bad and pretend it's not going bad, but you need to plan ahead. And as Jim mentioned, I have talked about this on this show many times about the 4 steps to full financial recovery. And I'm going to talk briefly about those 4 steps. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to talk about each one of those 4 steps in a little bit more detail about what you need to do. Okay, so the first thing you need to do when you're having financial problems is protect what you have, right? So many times we start doing things that are putting at risk, like our home. I've talked on this show before about people who maybe have more than one home, and they're kind of half paying each one of the mortgages, and they really want to keep one of their homes. The other home can't. They don't want to lose it, but if they got to lose one, that's the home that you should lose. And the way that they were doing it is they're going to lose them both. So you have to protect what you have already and focus on that. And that's the second thing, right? The second thing is focus your resources on those things that are the most important. If you don't have enough money to pay everything, then you have to be specific about what you are going to pay. We talked a little bit about this on the last episode last week about payroll taxes and people who start using the payroll tax deposits to pay other debt. That's the wrong move because you're not you have to focus your resources
like a laser beam, right?
Yes, on the things that.
So I can't like a flashlight where it's scattered. I have to be real focused.
So if I want to save again, if the worst thing happens and I have to file bankruptcy or something like that, I want to be able to walk away from my debt. And so focus your resources on the right type of debt. And you may not know what that debt is, but I do. And that's what we help people do all the time. The third thing you want to do is you want to enlist the help of other stakeholders. And what I mean by that, by stakeholders, are your mortgage company, the vendors, your credit card companies. They're making many changes and allowing people to, for instance, there's many credit card companies that are saying, hey, just don't pay us for a couple of months and we won't put that on your credit score and we'll waive any of these other fees. We talked about student loans that now the CARE Act put a moratorium on having to pay them, right? So there's same thing with mortgage companies. They've taken some steps and have agreed to forbearance agreements, have agreed to repayment plans, have agreed to loan modifications with very little from the clients. Again, some years ago, if you tried to get a loan modification, that loan modification, it took months and months and months to get. Now, oftentimes, all you have to do is call your mortgage company, and they'll offer you one. and it will only take a couple of weeks. So you have to engage with them, though, and you have to ask for the help. Don't stick your head in the sand and pretend and think this is all going to go away. But you can be surprised at what some of these people, some of your stakeholders will do to help you survive this. They want you to survive also. They don't want you to go under, because many times if you go under, they've lost a customer. They don't want to lose a customer. And they don't, they learned in 2008, they don't want your home. that just causes problems because it decreases prices, and then these mortgage companies wind up with homes that are worth less than the loan is worth. So better to keep the families in those homes, work with them for payments. And again, it goes the same thing with your credit cards, student loans, other vendors that you have in your business. They will make amends. They will try to help you, but they won't unless you ask them. So ask. It can't hurt. The fourth thing you want to do is, if none of this works and it goes longer than you think, and you got to fight like crazy to save what you can. Okay, so if someone's files a foreclosure case against you, you have to address it. Don't turn your back on it. Don't pretend it's not there. Address it. Same thing if credit card companies start coming after you, right? What are you going to do then? It's same thing with the IRS. Now, this is the IRS radio hour. I talk about this all the time. So when the IRS starts coming after you, you have to be able to address it. You can't just throw your hands up in the air and say, hey, I don't have the money, because they'll start taking things away from you. So these are the 4 steps that you need to take. And as I mentioned, we're going to go into them a little bit more detail in the coming weeks. But again, you need to plan ahead. Things are bad. They may get worse, but you have to plan in advance, so if the worst thing happens, you're prepared for it. And nobody thought that this virus was going to hang around this long, and it was going to cause as much trouble as it has. But it has.
I called it.
But it has called.
I called it.
But it has caused this trouble. Jim's a soothsayer now. But again,
I was on this show saying it was going to last more than 6 months.
Well,
so anyway,
again, this is where we're going. You got to take action. You can call me. I can help you with this. Full financial recovery is what we're after. You got to start planning now.
Thus ends another episode of the blog report from attorney Stephen Leahy. If you are looking for a case file or need help fighting the IRS, let attorney Stephen Leahy with Open Tax Advocates help you with your fight against the IRS. 312-664-6649, or visit chicagotaxteam.com, and it will be your hub to help fight the IRS. Tune in next week as we continue the fight against the big G and help you, the Chicago taxpayer, with all that you need to know. We'll be right back here on AM 560.
The answer.